on WNN 1470 AM and TrentoVision.tv. From the world's leading think tank laboratory, buried deep in an undisclosed building in hostile territory where evil and corruption is exposed, you're about to enter the Tom Trento Show.
Tom Trento heads United West, a group that says it defends Western civilization against the onslaught of Islam.
By every estimation of every historian, it is a day that resides in infamy. It is a day that many believe changed the course of the Western world, but it did not start out that way. It started out this way.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
Yeah, those words on January 20th, 1961, the inaugural address of President John Fitzgerald, JFK, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, are words that even inspire to this day young children and people of all ages in countries all over the world. So today, on the 22nd of November, 1963, no, it's actually 2013, 50 years, wow, 50 years, 50 years removed from 1963, we here on TrentoVision, the United West, we're going to become a little nostalgic. We're going to take a walk down memory lane. We have a few folks that you may be aware of that are regulars on our show. We've asked them, some were little people, some were older people, where they were. Everybody can point in their life to where they were on that infamous day, November 22, 1963. And we'll make some very current day applications. So, going to be an interesting show, and it's good to, I think this is the first time, CJ, hello, are you really there or are you green screen?
No,
Yeah,
are
give
you
me a hug.
really there?
Yes, I'm here. We have not been together for a
here.
while. I've not been together for a while. J. Mark Campbell and I, as you know. We left on September 30th,
And
1963.
1963, yes, we did.
We've been away for 50 years, but we're back. It feels like 50 years, huh?
It does.
Yeah, there was an old TV
6
show
weeks or
about
so.
that.
What?
Like somebody leaves the room and they kind of go sliding
there's
into different time periods or something.
Well,
We'll
we're-
come back
well-
to.
We're back. We have been all over different parts of the United States of America. And we went over to Israel, as you know. We're going to be bringing you a tremendous amount of information and our videos from 2 weeks behind-the-scenes national security tour in Israel just a month or so ago. We're going to be bringing you that in the future, so stay tuned. Yes, we're on a new time here on WNN 1470 on the radio side, 3 p.m. Eastern. We made it easier for our folks over the pond, on the other side of the pond. And we have some visitors.
Speaking of,
Guess what country we have some visitors in the studio from?
Alaska. Alaska.
No, that's okay. You can reveal.
country of
I
Alaska.
was
That be the Islamic Republic of Britain?
Yes, it is. Yes,
Well,
exactly.
It looked like Australia to me.
I was going to see if anybody could figure it out from here. If not, we have that for the geographically impaired. You know, they can understand that. The UK. Yeah, Abdullah, what do you think about the UK these days?
Oh, it is fantastic. We have almost completely conquered.
Oh, good.
We are currently draining their tax system by being constantly on the dole. We slaughter their soldiers in the streets, and we have hijacked their parliament.
And you also blown up their subways too, have you not?
Now, without
Absolutely.
getting into your name, visitor from the UK, you could say hello because the mic will pick you up. And yeah, you could say hello. Say,
No,
this
say
is,
hello.
Nice and loud.
Hello, mate.
Hello.
Well, let's hear you. Say it a little louder. We want to hear you.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yell it.
Hello, everybody.
Yay!
Greetings from where?
Greetings from where? London?
UK or
London.
Londonistan or whatever.
Londonistan.
Ah, Londonistan, yes.
Our mystery guests, couple of
Right.
them, three of them. One is currently residing in London and
Right.
watches the show and follows what we do regularly. Happens to be on vacation somewhere in the United States of America.
Right.
Dragged a couple of his friends up to our studio, and we're all together, one big happy family, inside a closet right now.
That's right.
But it's
We are in
working.
a closet.
It's working.
We're in
warm
a
closet.
bunker. It's
Closet
not a
that's getting warmer.
closet.
It's in a bunker. It is. But good to be back, CJ. Give me a little overview. How'd it go? Damon and both of you are live. That
Right,
was
right. There were no killings and no pregnancies.
no
in your
killings and no
absence.
pregnancies. Okay, that's the way we like it around here. No
That's
dead
why we
people.
like it. Yes.
We like that.
Yeah, J. Mark says to me before he leaves, I don't want to be birthing
No
no
baby."
babies when I get back.
I don't think there's a possibility of that, but in terms of
I had my tubes tied.
now, I notice Damon, our producer, and Mark, our director, somebody's invaded your space. What the hell is that all about? Who's this?
Oh.
Who's
These-
this?
we
There
gotta-
is
we gotta interrupt
my.
her.
You gotta watch that.
Yeah. Invaded our space. We had a mystery face pop
Who
in.
is that? What are you doing here? You get lost or
Get
something?
lost?
I think I did.
You want to stay or you want to go?
I'm kind of penned in here. I'd like to see how this comes out at the end.
It's a Picasso in process.
It is.
Okay?
It's a
Why
Picasso
don't you
in
introduce our mystery
I'm going
guest?
to
'Cause
introduce our mystery guest because, and I've already said this, he truly is not just one of my favorite co-hosts in the whole wide world, but he's also one of my best friends in the whole wide world. And of all the people I admire, he is way at the top
He
of
is
the
the
list.
admiration. Yeah.
And he was just on our show last week for Veterans Day, and he is the indomitable Mort Kuff.
Hey, Mort.
And I have to
I'm
tell
not
you,
even going to wait for a second opinion. I'll accept that.
every time Mort stops by, or I get an email or a phone call, or I see him out and about on the town, I learn something new and impressive about him. And I couldn't believe it when I heard about why he was going to be on the show today, and this connection that he has with this famous day in history. So you folks are in for a real treat.
Well, I got a question for you, Tom.
Yes.
What was it that he said? Ask not which your country.
Play it again.
Well, I might have heard it wrong because I'm a little bit confused about
You
today.
mean because that's not quite what's happening
I
today?
thought what was I was just a little bit
Let's play it again for the
challenged
audience to
on
hear.
what he
So
said.
sarcastic.
It's like 20 seconds.
And so, my
Listen to
fellow
this.
Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Okay, that's where my confusion lies, right within that one point there, because wasn't he the leader of the Democrat Party at the
I think
time?
Kennedy was a Republican.
Oh, he was a Republican.
I think so.
Oh, he must have been.
Or was he?
because-
Was he a Republican?
I saw a
'Cause
very,
I
I,
thought-
saw a very interesting interview this morning with Charles Krauthammer, and he was going through Kennedy's foreign policies and saying if he had those positions today, he would be considered either a Republican or a conservative. There's absolutely no way that he would be considered.
Tea
But
Party.
I thought it was more like ask not what you can do for your country, but what your country can do for you.
What your country can give you. What your president can give you. Yes,
what you
Is
can
it-
steal from
Well,
your
so
fellow
is
Yeah, look.
that more the motto of the
countrymen.
Democrat Party today?
One of our points today, folks, on the 22nd of November at 10 minutes after 3 p.m.
On
a
WNN
beautiful
1470
Yes, that's the
AM.
station. But the rain has subsided for a little bit in South Florida. We're on WNN 1470 on the AM side, on TrentoVision.tv, theunitedwest.org. TeaPartyCommunity.com, all those different places you can watch. What about iHeart? What's that story all about?
iHeartRadio, you can listen, you can download that for free to your smartphone or other smart app like this one right here.
And you can donate to help us get to Britain and go save Britain.
That's
If we
right.
save America.
Oh
Britain
my gosh.
definitely needs
Could
saved
you
right now.
imagine? Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
right.
one of our purposes today, folks, on this 50th anniversary of the assassination of John Fitzgerald Kennedy, is to analyze some of the conspiracies, but also to make application that this individual who lived 50 years ago, who was the head of the Democrat Party, would not even be accepted in the Democrat Party today. His views domestically and internally.
Radical
were-
right-wing
Yeah, back
extremist.
then, 50 years ago, it shows how much the Democrat Party has veered off of these traditional values, these traditional, and not so much him as a person, but these traditional
Right.
public policy issues and taxes
Right.
and foreign policy. And that's our concern, to indict the Democrat Party that they ought not even be acknowledging what took place, because they don't even like this guy anymore today. He's more Republican than many Republicans today, and we have a lot of problems with Republicans
That's
today.
especially true. Could you imagine this
Right.
man, foreign policy-wise, he's to the right of George W. Bush.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Oh,
to
yeah.
the right of Mitt Romney and John McCain and all the
Oh,
other
yeah.
talking heads of the Republican Party.
And
Absolutely.
we have, what do we have? We have, today's what, the 22nd? Somebody do the math. 4 from 22 is how much?
We have less than
How much?
a year.
Less than a year.
Okay,
less
4
than
from
a year.
22. Do the math. You're a math guy.
18.
18 from 365.
347.
18 from 365
Yeah.
is 347.
347.
We have 347 days until November 4th,
Fourth.
2014,
Yes.
Election Day in the United States.
Yes.
And we will be rolling out in the near future a massive amount of material where we've been doing this analysis of the Republican Party and its total wastefulness of donor dollars and a more effective way to win campaigns. We'll have that out probably in the next 2 weeks, all geared toward
Right.
impacting the 2014 election in Florida in the United States.
In time for the Christmas giving season.
Yes, yes.
And your end of year tax breaks, because when you donate securely at theunitedwest.org, those are still tax deductible.
Where were you?
Where was I?
No, hold it. We're going to find out where you were 50 years ago.
I was not born yet. Thank you very much.
Hold on. I was going to.
You were going to do that? You were going to say that?
Go to our special guest. Just tell us where you were, special guest.
At that time,
No, just
I
the
was.
city. No big long discussions.
Oh, try
were-
Bethesda, Maryland.
Okay, hold that. We have a more special guest.
No, there's no such thing as more special.
We have a more special guest on the line coming to us from Savannah, Georgia.
A specialer guest.
A special Mary. Is Mary there? We don't. She didn't Skype.
Hello?
I don't think. Are you there, Mary?
I'm here. Hello, all.
Hi. How
Hi,
are
Mary.
you? Mary
It's nice
is
to be special.
is our dear friend who runs our United West operation out of the Georgia area, and we've asked her to. We're going to throw her picture up, and we asked her to share her thoughts on where she was 50. Hey, Mary, you believe 50 years has zoomed by this quickly?
Yeah, I was around 50 years ago, unlike CJ.
You were around, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but she looks like she wouldn't have been
No, you're
around
well
50
preserved.
years
You're
ago.
well.
Oh, you do not say that to a lady. Oh my gosh. Mary, I'm
can't
gonna
believe
take
you just
care.
said
I'm
that.
going to take care of him for you. Don't you worry.
Look at the
about
picture.
a thing.
It's a well preserved.
Well preserved. Oh my
God.
gosh.
That's
It's a
fighting
well-
words.
Okay, those are fighting words, baby.
Oh boy.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
Love you dearly.
How do you like all that volunteer work she's
I
doing
just
for
been
you,
doing
Tom?
for you for
We
the
have
last.
more for her
Yeah.
to do. We have more.
Anymore.
Not anymore.
It's well preserved. I
Doubling down.
Quit digging.
what's wrong?
Put the shovel
He's
down,
taking a
Tom.
play at
Take
the
the shovel
Yes, sir.
down, Tom.
Obama playbook
Italian
here.
women love those kinds of compliments. All right, tell us about where you were living. Where were you living?
Where was I at? I was in a little blue-collar town called Pontiac, Michigan. I think I was in 8th grade at that time, and I recall being in science class. And I recall sitting there thinking, oh, this is really boring. I hate this class. How do I get out of here? But then they came across the PA system and announced President John F. Kennedy had been shot. And we all froze. We looked at each other, and of course, what was 8th grade, maybe 12, 13 years old, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to think. I thought, why? Why would anybody do that? Oh, how horrible it was. And then from there, I think they let us out early, and we went home, and I can remember my parents were talking about it, and they dearly loved him. They thought he was a great president, as I recall, and some of it might have been because growing up Catholic and he was Catholic, and it just felt, there was some connection there. But I remember such a sadness, and everybody just trying to figure out why and who and what happened and where we'd go next.
And what it happened, remember what day it happened on?
It was, no, I don't exactly remember the day.
Anybody remember the day?
Well, it's today. It's 50 years ago today, 22nd.
Day of the week. Day of the week.
Well, I mean, what day of the week? Monday through Friday. I don't recall. I just
Name of the
recall
day.
it being around Thanksgiving. I do remember that, and so I think about it every Thanksgiving.
Mark,
Okay.
remember the name of the day? Anybody remember the name of the day?
Was it
Without Googling it?
Was it wasn't a Friday? Or, no, was that the Black
You
Friday?
remember more?
It
No, I
was
don't.
Friday.
Friday.
Black Friday?
Was it a Friday?
It was a Friday.
You know, I
yes.
was going to say that.
Yeah.
It was a Friday, and then what did you do all weekend? What everybody in the United States did?
Well, what I recall is being glued to the TV, the black and white TV, and I recall watching the funeral procession, and one of the things that has always stuck in my mind is the funeral procession had the horse, the steed, and with the boots in the stirrup backwards. Do you recall that?
Yeah, absolutely. I do remember those pictures. I mean, everybody probably remembers
Yeah.
that the backward rider, signifying someone of prominence, has died and left. People were glued to their black and white TVs, and parents were crying all over the place. What are your reflections back on the Kennedy era? What did they
called it
Camelot.
Camelot.
Yeah, Camelot, all of that.
Exactly. As the years go by, they, of course, have trashed him many ways to Sunday and back, but I think he was a decent president. I think he had, of course, everybody knows the one statement he made that is just almost has gone through generations of Americans to say that, what was it?
We just, yeah. Ask
My
not what
mind
your
just went blank. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
No. You got that backwards, Mary. You got that
Did I
backwards.
say
Getting
backwards?
started,
You got that
Mary.
backwards. You said it backwards. Ask what
I
your country can do for
apologize.
you. Ask not what you can do for your country.
That's the revised Democrat
It's a
version.
revised version. You've obviously not been keeping up with history books, Mary.
Oh, thanks, Mark. I appreciate the
Okay, good.
the update.
Yeah, you're welcome.
What do you got going on up in Savannah these days, fighting the jihadis and the Obama jihadis?
It's truly amazing. I sit here in my office at work, and we are all just in an uproar and amazed that this administration is still in place, that there hasn't been treason charges brought against him. And we are now getting little memos from management telling us that we need to stop that kind of discussion. So it's transcending everywhere in terms of trying to stop the freedom of speech and the liar that we've got in the administration.
Okay, any questions for Mary before we let her go? We got a few people we're
You
going
have
to
any
bring
questions
in.
for Mary,
and,
Mort?
she was a little kid, and
Do you have any questions for Mary, Mort?
I didn't think she was born.
yeah, right.
I didn't either.
She was
I
born.
pay you well.
What'd she say? She
I
aged
said
you.
I
She says
pay
she
you
hates
well
you,
for those
Tom.
comments.
She's going to stab a sticky knife in your eyeball.
Mary loves me. And I love
Kill
Mary.
you.
Mary said that Savannah's already a haunted town, and it's going to get more so when you come back.
When we were up there this summer, did we go this summer?
Yes, you did.
You
You
were?
had
Yes, we
a
did the
big
Segway
national
tour.
security briefing with
The
Claire
Segway
Lopez.
tour, yes, we
Yeah.
did that.
But what I remember is the Segway tour. We took a Segway tour, and we'll do a little tourism for Savannah. If you're in Savannah, Georgia, take the 3-hour Segway tour. It's fabulous. We had a
Right.
wonderful time. Zipping around those little streets. Hey, Mary, thank you very much.
Thank you,
for-
Mary.
for
nice
all you're
to
doing.
see you again.
And we'll talk to you soon.
All right, you guys keep up the good work. I appreciate it.
Okay, bye-bye.
That is very interesting to hear. You know what I just got triggered on while Mary was talking. I'm remembering when I first moved to the United States, and I
From?
actually from a different country.
One of these countries.
Yes, and I started visiting the homes of Americans, not expats. A lot of the older families, they had pictures in their homes of JFK and Jesus, and they
My
would.
in-laws.
Catholics. yeah.
Okay.
Former in-laws.
And they would be always prominently placed in the sitting room or the parlor room as a place of honor. And this is many years after he died.
No, if they were Catholics,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Because he was the first Catholic president.
Right.
And, whenever anybody's cut down like that, I mean, there is a mystique that develops about him. And if you look at what he was doing, where he was going, it's very interesting where the world would have been. But, he was revered, still is revered by, many of the folks
And
who
this is
were in their
this
80s.
is mostly like blue collar working middle class families. Still in the 80s and 90s would have these photos in
Right.
the family.
I voted for Kennedy. I was a little kid. I was alive, and we had a mock election, Kennedy-Nixon, and New Jersey blue collar union family.
Right.
He was the guy, and
Right.
in class, and he won it was an Italian school basically,
Right.
and everybody voted for him.
Well,
So-
I got interviewed by the FBI after the shooting, questioning me where I was that day.
Wow,
It was quite traumatic.
wow. Were you in Texas?
Yeah, well, I was in Texas actually, but then they let me go after I poopied my diapers because I was 2 years old. So
Oh, okay. But they threw a dragnet out.
they
and were
dragnet,
pulling
and they
anybody
were
that looked
screening everybody.
suspicious.
They're
They
screening
could pull in
everybody.
the usual
Right.
suspects.
Yeah, the usual suspects.
All the
I
usual
wouldn't have
suspects.
missed this for the world.
He still looks to, doesn't he?
Well, before we come to Mort, there are about 100 conspiracy theories as to who killed JFK. We're just
Right.
going to go through a couple of them here. And one of the first ones is guess who? Who does everybody think killed JFK?
Oh, Johnson,
It wasn't
LBJ.
LBJ, yeah.
LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, was what to Kennedy?
Vice president.
Vice president, yeah.
He was his vice president. How do you know? You were 2 years old.
I was questioned by the FBI. I was a very smart 2-year-old.
Johnson was his vice president, and there's in the States for our visitors from Britain.
From other places.
From other places, parts beyond.
Lately, for the past 3 months or so, there's been specials every other day on who killed President Kennedy. I watched one that was very persuasive. The Secret Service.
Oh, that
agent
is a good one. That's a
killed
great
him,
one.
basically.
That's the most convincing one I've seen so
I'm
far.
leaning in that direction after all these years. We'll talk about that later.
I think it was Jimmy Hoffa.
But JFK. LBJ.
Nobody even
what are
laughed
some of
at
the
that.
yeah? What were some of the reasons, CJ, why people thought LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, his vice president, would axe him?
Because he was just chomping at the bit to send young Americans over to Vietnam, and Kennedy didn't want to do it.
They hated each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they hate.
How
they
could
did-
you select a vice president Mort, let me
Because
ask
he's
Mort
from
this.
Texas, and Texas is a big electoral state, and he wanted to win the presidency.
It
Thank
was
you,
a
Mort.
political decision.
Yeah.
I'm
Now,
sorry.
Mort,
Yes.
what do you recall about the LBJ connection to the death of Kennedy?
They did despise each other, and LBJ hated everything about the Kennedys, including Bobby. And what happened later, after the assassination, the relationship between Bobby Kennedy and LBJ was just about as volatile as anything could be. But the killing of Kennedy, I was at home because I was recuperating from some major surgery, so I was on the television, watching television at the time, and had 4 kids, and they were close by, and they just hung on me as if we were rubber cemented together. And there was a lot of cuddling and a lot of huddling and a lot of tears and a lot of fear. There was just an atmosphere of fear that just dropped over the entire United States, including my house.
What was the fear? What was the fear?
It was fear of the unknown, fear of the impossible, fear of whatever caused this thing to happen. And at the time, we didn't know a lot. We were getting some news feeds on TV, but over the past 50 years, all I remember really of the moment when I heard that news and Walter Cronkite gave it was just an impression of being stunned. All the visuals and all the reporting afterwards put everything in focus, but at the time it was just a terrible, terrible feeling of unbelievable.
Well, also back during that time, I mean, this is the time of Russia, the nuclear crisis, the
Soviet
Bay,
Union, yeah.
Bay of Pigs, the whole
Well,
thing. I mean, they just came out of that.
Yeah.
I mean, was there a fear that this is a prelude to attack on the United States? Someone has shot our president, and there's going to be an attack on the United States by Russia or something? Were those theories being bandied about at that time?
I don't recall that, but I know on a personal note, when Kennedy was such an engaged president. He was on top of things, and all the photographs you see of him in the Oval Office with his arms folded and silhouettes of him just looking pensive with his head down. And as a matter of fact, the official portrait of Kennedy is unusual in that he's you're looking at him head on, his arms are folded, and he's looking down in deep concentration, and that was him. He was totally involved, and totally engaged in what's going on, unlike today.
Can I?
We thought he would find a way to.
And he did.
Yeah. Before you say that, yes,
Okay.
Mark, to answer your question, it was the Cold War. And as little kids, we would practice going under the school desks. Like that's
Right,
gonna,
right, right.
Like that's
Somehow
gonna
that's
help,
gonna help
right,
you,
with a
right.
nuclear bomb. So
Duck
we know.
and roll or something like that?
Yeah, well,
or-
that's when you catch on fire. We were, now the records are coming out that, we were on high alert because you assassinated a president, you killed the head, and then you start attacking other stuff, and there's a command and control problem. So the
Right.
country was in high alert. When was the president assassinated before Kennedy? When was the last president?
Well, there's the attempt of, go back to Garfield, was it? And then back before then, it was Teddy Roosevelt, who they attempted to shoot, but he really wasn't in office at the time. I think he was running for re-election. Then you had to go all the way back to
Lincoln? Was he
Lincoln.
the last one? Yeah.
Well,
No.
no, Garfield. Wasn't it Garfield, President Garfield, who was
James
shot?
A.
Yeah.
Garfield.
But
They're
don't
pretty sure
forget,
more about this than we do.
Was it Garfield? Did Garfield get assassinated?
don't
No, it
forget
was
Harry
McKinley.
Truman. Harry Truman was living in the Blair House,
It
and
was
there were
McKinley.
2 people who
McKinley. That
tried
was
to
it.
break
That
in
was
and
it.
kill him.
McKinley.
McKinley, who assassinated him? Was he? What is that
How was
story?
it?
What year was that, McKinley?
There was one where the
Somebody find that. McKinley got assassinated when? And while you're looking that up, to put a little fine point on what you're talking about.
Right.
No, Mort. What? Oh, we got that? To put a fine point on Mort, the allure about the Kennedys, they're from a very wealthy.
It was by a foreign
What year?
anarchist in 1901.
1901.
he's like
So
the
60 years.
Yeah.
We're advanced now, and But the whole Kennedy family was our royalty, essentially. And this was their favorite son. He was Damon's age.
Right.
When he got elected, you and Kennedy are the same age. How come you're not the president?
I thought I was.
He thought he was. Right.
So, CJ, what was your
Well, actually,
thought?
Barack Obama's my age.
That's right.
So what the hell have I been doing wrong?
Yeah, you're not the president.
But you don't have a crease in the pant like he does, so you can't be president.
What are you going
He
to say?
doesn't even wear pants.
He's got
That's
pants.
why you only see him from here on.
Right.
He wears a skirt. Part short.
CJ, what were you going to say?
My question is for Mort, and I was hoping that he would be able to tell us a little bit about his personal connection
Okay.
to President Kennedy.
We will do that.
And the president's
Well-
inauguration. It is 31 minutes past the
Hour.
hour.
Oh, that's right. You remember all that stuff, huh?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to come to you, do your homework, get your little book out. But first, we got a guest from California. Where is he? Is he there?
Yeah, he's there.
Is he Skyped in?
He skipped in.
DD, Don Dix. What's up, man? We want to see you.
There he is.
There you are.
Right.
You
Hey.
can't see us. We don't have the camera on us. But
Good morning, Stream Team.
What's
Good
that?
night.
I said good afternoon, Stream Team.
Yeah. We are CJ and I are at the news desk here, and everybody else is over there. How you been? Haven't seen you in a while.
Been very busy, and thanks. I haven't been. I've been in the bunker, been all around Southern California. Things are going really well here.
All right, Don does a lot of work with us out in the Inland Empire, the Corona area of California. He's also the director of the Act for America chapter, and he is a super radio talk show host.
That's right.
Or you're going to be.
You're going
That's
to
the
be.
case.
Newly hatched, yes, newly hatched. We've got some things that have just started taking the Inland Empire by storm. We've formed a coalition of conservative groups all across the Inland Empire called Unite IE. It's been going on for about 3 months now, and one of the largest talk radio stations in Southern California, a Salem broadcast station, heard about it and offered us a Saturday radio time slot, and we said sure.
Knock it out. Right.
And CJ has your call signs here.
Yes.
What are they?
Don is going to be broadcasting from KTIE 590 AM on Saturday at 2:30 Eastern or 11:30 Pacific.
Are you on iHeart and all that good stuff too, Don?
I don't know about that yet. There's still some technology that I'm learning about, but no, on the Saturday lineup, we're real fortunate to have that time slot. This is the radio station that carries Dennis Prager, Michael Medved, and
you'll have iHeart then.
You'll
because
have
if
iHeart then.
Because
Okay.
they
All right.
stream it live for those people. They just continue to stream it live for everybody else afterwards. So 590, yeah, go check it out. 590 on iHeart, and go listen to it. Yeah,
We'll be able to hear it. Give us a little of your. Don's got a great radio voice. Your little.
I was
your
going to
little-
ask Don if he was alive when Kennedy was assassinated.
I was. I was 6
And do you
years
remember
old.
where you were and what you were doing?
Sure do. In fact, I was thinking about this. This was actually my introduction to death.
Oh.
goodness.
As a 6-year-old, it was the first time that I really recognized that there's this thing called death at the other end of living. And
That's an
I was
interesting
sitting on,
angle. Yeah.
I was sitting on the living room floor, playing probably with my toy M1 gun. That, we were big into guns back then, and I was sitting on the living room floor, and my mom and dad were watching TV, and I remember the news interruption, and within about 2 or 3 minutes, my mom was sitting on the couch crying, and my dad was like, what has just happened? And I remember that moment. It was the first time that I'd ever seen my parents react like that. And it's etched pretty vividly in my memory.
Now, we've been asking some of the folks that have been joining with us, and while you're speaking, we have some B-roll going on here. Hey, you may want to live stream your radio show. We can hook you up for that so you get the
'cause
thing
it's
out on the
so
internet.
easy.
Yeah, it's so easy.
No technical glitches.
No, it's so easy,
Concerned
Don.
with-
It's on second thought, forget about it.
Just
Bad
Yeah,
idea.
exactly.
plug and play. Plug and
Just
play.
remember to hit record.
Yeah, bad idea. Some of the folks have been sharing their reflection, on the Kennedy mystique, the Kennedy and the Kennedy governance, the way he governed as a Democrat versus what's going on today with the Democrats. What are your thoughts on that?
Wow. We've got a dramatically shifted political landscape, and I think that a lot of the Republicans today are the old-fashioned Democrats that the Kennedy-style Democrat, and where the Democrats have gone completely off the left in the political spectrum, and they're now the progressive statist leftists that are carrying this country in a direction that's anything but constitutional, anything but supporting free enterprise, personal liberty, and a limited government. They've gone off the rails, and so that's part of what we're trying to do out here in the Inland Empire is organize people that want to pull us back in the direction of a more conservative framework. It'd be great to even have Democrats today that were the Kennedy-style Democrat. I don't, who would that be? I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably like the retired Joe Lieberman or something.
Like a Lieberman, sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But Kennedy was a Democrat who actually advocated cutting taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And talked about it as necessary to get the economy going. I mean, you could never hear a Democrat say that now. You hardly even hear a Republican say
And his
it.
views on Israel, CJ's going to tell you what his views on Israel were in a minute. But for the sake of the audience, for our listeners and viewers, 37 minutes after 3 o'clock, WNN 1470, TrentoVision.tv. For the sake of the viewers, so they understand your crazy state with 35 million people in it, the Inland Empire is where, and why do you call it the Inland Empire?
The Inland Empire are comprised basically of two counties, Riverside County and San Bernardino County, that are about 60 miles east of the coast, of the left coast where Los Angeles is. And it's called the Inland Empire because it's just this huge sprawl of what really started out to be a bedroom community because real estate prices got so crazy along the coast that developers just took broad swaths of land and developed these huge communities. It used to be all agricultural, big dairy, citrus. A lot of the towns have their roots and their heritage in agriculture out here, but as that gave way to sort of the new economy, it got developed into a huge bedroom community, and now we're starting to see industry start to build up and a big push to get businesses and industry located here so that the people don't have the 2-hour commute each way. 4 hours of people's lives are spent driving from the Inland Empire out towards Orange County and LA County in order to work.
Wow.
So, but there's a lot of people, and one of the problems with the Inland Empire is that, and this is really a problem in California, because of everything that happens out here the way it does, people aren't connected in their neighborhoods anymore. They're not connected in the ways that we used to be, at the time that you're talking about when the assassination of Kennedy was happened. I remember, we knew every neighbor within, a several block radius. I mean, we had phone lists. We knew who people were. And it wasn't about, being prepared for emergencies. It was about being just connected.
That's the way the neighborhoods were.
What you did.
Yeah. Hey, Don, we're going to have to let you go, but you're doing great work out there. You're not too far from UCI, University of California at Irvine, which is the center of the jihad activity in the state of California, that whole UC system. We've been out there many times with Don, banging heads with the bad guys, and we'll be doing that in the future. By the way, I should tell you this. You don't know this. The first week in February, Frank Gaffney, and I will be in Bakersfield with the
Don't
That's
be
my
talking
surprise
about
book.
hitting the road again today, Tom.
with
Yeah, he couldn't make it a day.
he couldn't
with the-
even get through one show,
with the ACT
one day
folks.
in the studio. Oh,
so we'll put something together for Southern California too.
Oh,
so
we
we'll
would
let you know
love to
about
have
that.
you down. Second Saturday of February, if you can, if we can work that out,
The
or
second
we'll,
Saturday. Oh,
We'll,
good.
we'll bend to your schedule on this one if we could work something out. We definitely
We'll
need
figure
to
it out.
talk. We were actually Tuesday night. The executive director of CARE was speaking in Riverside, and we got a group of folks from our area to attend an event that he did. Get this support. It was sponsored by the Progressive Political Action Committee of Riverside. I didn't even know there was such a thing.
It's called the Communist Party.
Exactly. You took the words right out
Well,
of my
look,
mouth.
next week we're going to do a whole show on that because we have the video from that.
Right.
One of your guys
Yeah.
sent us the video, and we'll have you, and because he doesn't want to be on camera, but we'll have you regarding that video and the confrontation that took place. Steve Emerson put it out too. It's a great story.
And
Great
congratulations
story.
and good luck on your show.
I did.
KTIE
K-Tie for Donnie D.
That is.
Saturday at
Thanks for the plug,
2:30
guys.
Eastern.
2:30. I thought it was 9.
2:30
2:30.
Eastern,
2:30
12:30
Eastern.
Pacific.
Hey, this is Donnie D on
11:30
K-Tie
Pacific.
coming at you.
This is Donnie D.
Donnie D. All
See you
right, Don
later,
Dix.
590 KTIE LA.
See ya.
God bless you
Bye-bye.
guys.
You're having too much fun. This is not supposed to be a fun show.
That's supposed to be a
Well,
fun
it's
show.
just-
That's supposed to be a fun show.
Well, yes, we put.
That's supposed to be a fun show.
In any event, hi everybody. Tom Trento here. This is the first day CJ and I are together in the studio. And how long? Long
Weeks
time.
and weeks and weeks.
Did you miss me?
Just a little.
You know, I bet Don would do a great show out there. You know, he's got a great voice.
He
and
does.
Meanwhile,
everything.
back to
Yeah.
us.
Yes, we were talking
Me,
about
me,
us.
me,
Good
me,
grief.
me,
We're talking
me.
about
I don't
us.
care what you want.
We were
Me,
talking
me,
about
me.
us. I missed you too. I had to live in the same room with Mark
Oh yeah.
for most of that time.
I didn't fall out any windows.
And then when we got back to the States, I said, okay, Damon, your turn. And then Damon was in the same room with Mark, with his dog.
Right.
So his
I'm
traveling
I'm
dog.
like
And
the
CJ said, "I'm not going anywhere near that."
And CJ and Mort were playing around.
I'm like that extra bag. You
We're
don't
getting
know what to
another
do.
guy on today, folks. We have sort of a nostalgic look back 50 years ago today, and we're looking at the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Not so much to analyze all the conspiracy theories, but to share some of our friends their reflections on where they were and the thoughts and feelings they had.
Can I
but
give
also
a quick
by,
JFK plug before you introduce?
Yes,
this?
but also by application, how what we learned from there applies to today in our serious work. The Israel thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
I wanna make
amazing.
sure-
Listen
I
to
want to
this.
make sure to say that.
This
'cause
is very important.
There's a Kennedy quote here on Israel. In 1960, Kennedy stated, "Israel will endure and flourish. It is the child of hope and the home of the brave. It can neither be broken by adversity nor demoralized by success. It carries the shield of democracy and it honors the sword of freedom." Now, as president,
1960.
John F. Kennedy was the president who broke the embargo that had been laid down by Eisenhower and Truman militarily against Israel, and he established the military and security cooperation between the United States and Israel, which is actually right now in a very fragile state. I think a lot of people, especially Christian Zionists and Jewish people in this country who consider themselves to be Democrats, really feel like the Democrat Party stands the way that John F. Kennedy stood with Israel, and they haven't really noticed or accepted the change in the swing against Israel within their own party. They feel that the Democrat Party is that its support for Israel is symbolized by what John F. Kennedy said and did, and it isn't. And so I think we need to really reach people who are Zionists and educate them that this is not the party of John F. Kennedy for foreign policy, certainly not for Israel.
No,
so
not
I
at
just
all.
wanted to make sure to say
No,
that.
it's a very, very important point, and Kennedy supported Israel, not just in words, but in his public policy and his governmental policy.
Exactly.
Speaking of governmental policy, we have the elected committee chairman for the state of Florida, third largest state in the country. California, where Don was from, or is from, 35 million people. Florida, 19 million people. What's state number 2? Anybody know?
Texas.
Texas.
How many people in Texas?
More than Florida.
More than Florida, less than California.
25 million. 25 million people there. Actually, right now, New York is still a few people ahead of Florida, but they're losing people, we're gaining people.
Yeah,
all
they're
the
coming here.
they're all coming here.
They're all
All
coming
the New
here.
York Jewish people and Italian people moved to Florida.
What are you talking about?
And where's the Italian guy?
Hey, Trento, you already here, man.
Okay, that's right, we're here.
Are you
And-
guys going to be quiet and let me talk?
Oh, we got somebody on the
We
line?
have on the line
okay.
Peter Feaman, who is the national committeeman representing the state of Florida to the Republican Party.
All right, let's get
Trying to get a word in edgewise.
He's a true
I'm a
lawyer
crisis for
because
this
he
great
busted
republic.
into our conversation.
That's
okay?
right.
Go ahead, Peter, it's all yours.
And he didn't have the guts to show up in person because
Oh,
he knows we're
no.
going to beat him up over what the Republican Party is doing, but we're going to play nice with
I'm
you
very
today.
busy saving the nation. But
Okay,
I have,
good.
first of all, let me say this. Great news for the state of Florida. Under Rick Scott's leadership, our unemployment is now down to 6.7%.
All right,
my
all right, all right.
That is-
Unprecedented.
Yeah.
We have a governor that actually does what he promised.
Oh, that
It
is
is.
good news.
All right.
It is tremendous what's going on in Florida these days, and we've got to get behind this governor. I don't think we've ever had a better governor for jobs and the economy in the state of Florida, especially when you look like at New York, Illinois, California. They're in free fall.
Yeah.
Right.
And yet here we are in Florida, one of the states hardest hit by the so-called Great Recession,
Right.
and now here we are, 6.7% unemployment.
Imagine if you had someone in the office who wasn't, this is like fighting upstream, like the salmon fighting upstream to get to the, be able to
Only to be
die.
eaten by a bear.
Yeah, only be eaten by a bear. But it's no. But you think of all the unemployment current that this state has to go through to actually show a lower.
That's amazing.
It's actually really amazing.
Let's do this, Peter, because that's so significant. I think we're at 9 or 10%. We need to do a segment on that,
Right.
Maybe after Easter.
Right.
Because
You do. It's unbelievable. I mean, Florida created 46,000 private sector jobs just in October.
Wow. All right. Well,
That's
there's a reason
unbelievable.
why that's happening. Let's hold all of that for a segment after Thanksgiving, because we're.
You said Easter. I was getting a little worried.
No, Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is
Thanksgiving.
what he
Okay,
meant.
good.
Yes. And where were you? The question today, we want to know where you were, what your feelings were, as you were probably a little tiny kid also. But by application, the way Kennedy viewed the world and the way Democrats viewed the world. Tell us what your thoughts are, Peter.
I can tell you where I was. I was in my 5th grade classroom. Miss Leonardo was our teacher, and it was 3 o'clock, and they were letting everybody out for school. She opened the door to our classroom, heard everybody talking, and came back in and said, okay, well, everybody's talking about it. I'm going to have to tell you. The President of the United States is dead. And it's like, what? Are you kidding? And we went home, and everybody was like in a fog. Nobody quite knew what to do. And then I remember that Saturday when Oswald was shot, my dad was watching it upstairs on TV live. I was down with my mother playing like Scrabble or something. Maybe it was the Friday. I don't know if it was. Yeah, it was the Saturday, the next day when they were transferring him. And I hear my dad all of a sudden yelling, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God, they shot Oswald, they shot Oswald. We all went running up the stairs, gathered around the black and white TV, and there it was. It was amazing. It was never, and that was the beginning of the end of the age of innocence of America.
Right.
From that point down.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today when I was watching the news coverage this morning, and I thought, that's really when the 50s ended and the 60s started.
Well, Don Dix just said that, we just had Don Dix from California on, Peter, and he said at 6 years old, that's when he was confronted with death, and he realized that, wow, people die when the president
Now,
dies.
Peter, were you raised as a Catholic?
I was.
Did you have in your family home like a portrait of John F. Kennedy?
No, we were Republicans.
Oh.
Politics transcended religion.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So we, both my parents were Republicans, and so we did not have a picture of Kennedy. However, my wife's family, they were both Democrats, but they were both Southern Baptists.
Oh, they must have hated
so,
him.
One refused to vote for John Kennedy because he was Catholic.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going
on. They
on.
were Democrats.
I can't even relate to that.
No, that was kind of bizarre.
I can't even
you're
relate
Jewish,
to that.
CJ, that's
Well,
Hey,
especially
Peter.
now we have a Muslim president. I
Peter,
can't
you know
even
who we
relate
have
to
in the,
people not wanting to vote for a Catholic.
Do you know who we have in studio here with us right now?
Mitt Romney.
Close. Close. Starts with an M. Say hello to Peter.
Hey, Peter, Mort Kuff. I'm looking at your photograph and admiring the technical quality of it because I remember I shot that photo.
Yes. In fact, that was taken shortly after the assassination of John Kennedy.
Hey, Mort, tell Peter your situation. Listen
We want to hear Mort's connection.
Well, I
to
had
John
kind of a
Kennedy.
commercial connection with John F. Kennedy because I designed and produced two of the floats that were in the inaugural parade. And I have a photo that's black and white and pretty well faded, but it shows my float passing in review in front of the John F. Kennedy, who was giving his inaugural speech.
Oh my goodness!
Those were the days.
Could we show a picture of that, even if it's just?
I keep learning something new
One
about
second.
Mort, and
He's an amazing guy. He's a
has
Renaissance man.
He has a real connection to history. He has
Yeah.
a connection to JFK. He's
I-
got the connection to the Clinton White House.
Yep,
Yeah.
he did a coloring book for what administration?
It was Clinton.
It was during the Clinton administration,
okay.
and I've tried to live that down. But I did see Kennedy once. He was exiting a car with Secret Service people flanking him, and between the car and the door of the Washington Hilton Hotel, the Statler Hilton, Kennedy got out and was buttoning his jacket, waved to the crowd, and I thought he was talking to me, but that wasn't the case.
He wasn't talking to you.
But I did get to see him in person, and he was one handsome dude.
And Peter, you may know that Mort just returned from an honor flight as a World War II veteran. They flew him to Washington, go to the World War II monument, a memorial, and several other places. Were you aware of that, Peter?
I was not aware of that.
Yeah. So we got a celebrity in our studio here. But Peter, make application as an elected official of the Republican Party in light of Kennedy's politics and where we are today with these views.
I'll tell you what, in today's political world, John Kennedy would actually be a moderate Republican. He would
I'd
not
say he's
be, he
conservative.
would be allowed in the Democrat Party.
Oh, wait.
Somebody who wants to
Wait,
cut
we were
back.
talking over you, Peter. He wouldn't be allowed in the Democrat Party, is that what you said?
No, that's right, because he said he wouldn't have the beliefs that the Democrat Party has today. He's actually pro-business. He was pro-cutting taxes. He was pro-growing the economy. Here, the Democrat Party today, they want to raise taxes. They're anti-business, and they're trying to put the coal business out. It's beyond comprehension. He would not be allowed. He'd be drummed out of the Democrat Party.
Ask not what you can do for your country, but what your country can do for you. That's the motto of today's party. 180 opposite of what Kennedy believed in.
Just the opposite. Plus, he also said, We will go anywhere, fight any foe in defense of freedom across the globe.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
All right. What else, Peter? Give us
It was a great Republican.
He was a great Republican.
Kennedy was a great
Right, I
Republican.
would like
he really
to
was.
see more Republicans today behaving the way that he did in terms of his policies.
He's more Republican than Lindsey Graham.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's more
so
Republican
is
than
my
Lindsey Graham.
pinky.
Wouldn't it have been interesting to, if you could just think about Senator John Kennedy and Harry Reid, how they would be interacting today?
Well, you know, it's bizarre. We don't have time to get into it, but the president's brother, Edward, became a left-wing wingbat, basically.
Right.
I mean, you know, what was that all about, right?
Right.
Well, he got waterlogged in
Yeah,
traffic
waterlogged.
critic.
Yeah, the booze and the waterlogging.
Well, Teddy was real conservative too, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Peter, give us a parting thought in terms of what needs to happen in Florida over the next 347 days as we gear up for the midterm elections, November 2014.
Well, the first thing you want to do is go to our Tea Party base and say, support Governor Scott as much as possible. You're not going to get a better governor in terms of conservative principles than this guy. This guy is, and so stop the division among the base with regard to Governor Scott.
Well, Governor Scott needs to hit the road and meet the base.
No candidate is perfect, but you're not going to get any better than this.
Okay.
Right.
That's the key thing. What do you? Oh, hey, you know Imam Abdullah on our show, right?
Yes.
He's going to be running for lieutenant governor, I think. He wants to get elected as lieutenant governor. You have any advice for how he can do that?
Yes. Convert.
Convert.
Can you run? How does it work, lieutenant governor in the state of Florida?
The lieutenant governor does not run on his or her own. The lieutenant governor is chosen by the gubernatorial candidate, and they run as a ticket in the same way that the president of the United States chooses his vice president, and they run as a ticket.
So same as the president chooses vice president. Yeah. Okay.
That's correct.
Well, how can you
So
run?
We're
Imam,
waiting for Governor Scott to pick.
I will be running.
Would you say, Abdullah?
I will be running regardless.
He's going to run as a
I will
write-in.
be running unopposed.
Well, you'll be running regardless, but I don't think you'll be running for office. You'll be running away from the law, I would think.
Well, we may need you to represent him. Speaking of needing to represent people, we'll be giving you a call. One of us may need your help in the near future, Peter. But we'll talk about that off the air. Okay.
Well, my pro bono work is filled up.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, but when you hear
We'll
this...
give you some free airtime. We'll tell Tom to take off for a couple of days, and you could come sit in his chair. How about that?
Yeah, we'll do commercials. We'll do a whole infomercial for you. All right, we got to let you go, Peter. Take care. You're doing a great job. See you around,
Later.
Peter Feaman. All right, we only got about a minute left here, folks.
Keep spreading the word. Check my Facebook page today. I have a post I'm putting up.
Okay.
About
All
the
right.
what
Interesting. When
Democrats did
the
in
last
Senate
time
yesterday.
Peter was on the show was during the fake government shutdown, and we were talking about how the government was closing down the national parks and barring the veterans from going to their memorials that Mort attended.
Okay.
So
We got to wind things down.
We
We got
have
that
that
connection with these
connection
guys.
there.
Yeah.
All right.
It's your show.
What
Take
time do
us
we end
away.
here? What time do we end?
Uh,
30 seconds.
In 30 seconds.
On the hour. Okay, I get confused sometimes. It's a little rough getting
30
back to these.
seconds.
We got 30 seconds or so.
Yeah.
And what we'll do, thank you everybody for tuning in and sharing this moment with us. Our key point was that the Democrat Party has changed over these past 50 years, and we need to impact America to bring some of those principles back. Thank you, our visitors from the UK and from other parts of the United States of America. Good seeing
Yes,
you.
a
CJ,
real treat.
good seeing you
Very good
once
to see
again.
you too.
So good
Thank you
seeing
for
back.
dropping by.
And we have to say goodbye right now.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow. No, see you Monday.